Let's Talk Sports fans. Thanks for tuning in.
We're dancing because our intro slaps, but we're also dancing because, ladies and gentlemen, the Titans are on the move this free agency. I know that doesn't sound. That doesn't. Yeah. Was that? Are you calling timeout? No.
No, keep the Titans.
It's a technical foul. Too much March Madness for me. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, and for you Titans fans, you know what I'm talking about. The years and years we have sat there and we have watched guys just drift by. I mean, let's face it, I'm pretty sure a good number of us didn't think we were going to get Snead. We thought he was going to be in a Colts uniform at one time. But now it's finally done. It's finally done, and I couldn't be happier. One of the top cornerbacks, if not the top cornerback, is now in two-tone blue, L'Jarius Snead. Welcome home, sir. Welcome home. Another one. Out of all of these free agency pickups, even Ridley, I would say this is probably the most significant, if there ever was one, I would say. Even though I secretly in my eyes, like deep down inside, I personally feel that Cushenberry is probably the biggest one. But it just depends
offensively, yeah.
my co-host Brad here. How do you feel about this free agency? I think there's only one way to feel, if I remember correctly.
Here we go. An A. I'm gonna go A plus, but I will give it an A. I just want to say practices with Snead and D Hop, going up against each other.
I cannot wait.
Might see a couple, face max grabs, couple words going back and forth between two physical players. So, but I love it. I mean, Snead is probably. I mean, he's definitely. I mean, he didn't give up a touchdown during the regular season. He only gave up one during the entire playoffs with the Chiefs. So he's up there. Big physical boy. I like it. Welcome to Tennessee, and I can't wait to. Definitely needed him because Awuzie definitely is a number 2. Roger McCreary needs to stay in the nickel, so we need that number 1 true lockdown corner. And it's wow. Rand Carthorne did great. Shout out to Rand Carthorne. Let Rand run. That's what I say.
Let Rand run. Yeah, the whole Cook thing's been ruined by Russell Wilson. I don't want to say it anymore. It just makes me.
And also, like, the whole J-Rob trust. Stop that.
Oh, yeah. It's over. It's over.
I don't want to hear J-Rob trust.
It was a fun era. It was a fun era.
Let Rand run. That's what I say. Let
Rand run. Run.
Done good.
Run. Your crew run, as Biggie Smalls used to say. No, it's a huge deal. This guy is a very physical. So is Awuzie. People tend to forget that. These guys are some of the most physical corners in the league, which means if you go up for, including Roger, but Roger, let's face it, is more of a nickel kind of guy who's going to disrupt tight ends and everything like that. But the point is, these guys get after it. They are dogs. They treat the ball like it's a rabid cat running in their backyard or a squirrel or whatever. And they go after it. When it comes up to 50-50 balls, these guys score high. They are good players, and that's exactly what you need on this defense. Brad, you, before we got on air, had the other holes that we need fixed. Can you rattle those off again?
Definitely need another safety to go with Malik Hooker. Malik Hooker needs to continue to grow, stay healthy, not get injured. Roger McCreary, same thing, just continue to grow, stay healthy. Awuzie, please stay healthy. Need another linebacker to complement Kenneth Murray. I know we got Otis Reese. I saw another good friend of ours, Wes, posted today a draft pick about us getting the defensive end for Alabama. We do need another edge rusher since we lost to Nico Autry to complement Jeffrey Simmons, Joseph A., Harold Landry. I know we got Luke Weaver, but, you never know how these types of things hit. And then on the offensive side, mostly just the offensive line. I know people are still saying Brock Bowers, but
no.
I still got him going number 5 to the Chargers. But other than that, it's looking pretty good.
I think that is correct about Bowers, by the way. And also, are we forgetting that Chig is really athletic? That Chig can play football,
right?
I'm just not ready to give up on him yet. Let's not give up on him when the offense is about to get revamped into a throwing from the hip offense.
And like when I came in and chimed in and getting a receiver at number 7 is when I started hearing, oh, we should get a tight end at number 7. I'm like, wait a minute. If we want anybody to replace anybody on offense besides the offensive line, why not replace Burks? Because Burks is the one that's not showing up,
right?
And Kyle Phillips, they're the both that's not shaping into the product of NFL slot receiver that we need now.
So far, but he's going to get his chance. That's what I think. Like, this is the year if you're going to do it. Now, I doubt he's on the team next year after this, but you might as well put up an audition tape, right? And by the way,
unless we know Bill and Cincinnati had the 3-headed monster at wide receiver. So, I mean, Monique Labors, I think he'll be a good slot receiver. I mean, but you could go with Rome from Washington too, just because DeAndre Hopkins is on his last year. So,
yes.
But we do need a tackle still. We got some good guards. We got a good center. Now we just got to get the tackles. So I don't know what Bill and Rand are doing. I mean, who knows what's going on inside when they're sitting there collaborating together. But we'll see.
Howdy, Michael. How are you?
Michael.
I can't tell what flag that is. Sorry. I would greet you, whatever flag that is. But
the left side looked like Switzerland. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say Swiss. Thank you for watching, Michael. Yeah, no, I totally get it. But I think I look at this whole thing. It's got, like, if Joe Alt is there, I don't think you have a choice. I don't think you have a choice. You got to take him. This guy, I mean, if you get this guy and let's just say everything goes right, you have a 10 to 15 year starter of protection on your left side next to Skronsky, who could be a 10 to 15 year guard, and your left side is fixed. So to me, I don't think you have much of a choice. Now, I know people are going to poo-poo on it because Lord knows we could have best wide receivers and people would still be asking us to draft wide receivers all the time. No. If Joe Alt is there, pull the trigger, get him, protect the Mayo man at all costs, because that's the only way we're going to succeed. This is the only way you're going to take a shot at the trophy this year. This is the only way you're going to take shots all over the field. Is that young man has to succeed. So Joe,
especially with the Texans loading up on the defensive front.
Yes.
And Colts still got DeForest Buckner too. So it's
they're a little salty out there. That Snead news hit them hard because I thought for sure he was going to the Colts. I really did. Oh, good. Other NFL news. Are you ready? Are the Bills on the last chance saloon to win it all, or will they be perennial contenders? Well, I'll tell you this, Michael. They got hit with the cap bug, right? There are a lot of people that say the NFL cap doesn't exist. It does exist. We got hit with it last year. So you can't keep everybody. I would say this window is shut on this current configuration of the team. Now, that doesn't mean I think everybody's going to get fired or whatever else, but I do think there's going to be a bit of a microscope over the head coach whose name eludes me at the moment.
Sean McDermott?
Sean McDermott, thank you. I think there will be a microscope on him this year, and I think there's going to be a microscope on that roster. And I think Bills fans, like it or not, are going to have to question, Allen can have all the talent in the world, but if he fades away in the playoffs, is it really going to matter in the end? Are we doing enough to make that guy succeed? Personally, I'll ask you this too, Brad. I think they've given him enough stuff so he can succeed. It's just not happening for whatever reason. And I think that's partly his fault.
So I remember when they lost to the Chiefs, and I watched First Takes, Stephen A. Smith and all them. Ryan Clark really laid into Josh Allen for saying he didn't make the correct plays. I would say this. I mean, the Bills they're going to be contenders just because that division is between them and the Dolphins. But Stephon Diggs, man, he disappears. in the postseason, no matter what he does. And
according to him, he's open. You just got to find him.
He was open at one pass, but it went right through his arms. And those kind of plays, your quarterback will lose confidence in you, no matter who you are.
I was just quoting any wide receiver. Oh, I was open. He just didn't throw it.
But I mean, like the thing I get lost in Buffalo is, I think Sean McDermott is a good head coach, but I don't know if he's the head coach to get them to what it could be. Like, you go back to, I always quote this, a team that wins their first championship. This is the famous Chicago Bulls in the 90s. Phil Collins was a great head coach, but to get the Bulls to the championship, they went with Phil Jackson to get them there. So they had to fire a really good head coach to get an even greater head coach. So Buffalo might be in that situation, like the Chargers. I mean, every year I list the Chargers as my sleeper team because they have the talent, but that doo-doo of a head coach, Stanley, was horrid. Now they got Jim Harbaugh, but the problem is they lost Eckler, Williams, Allen, Everett. They just lost all their weapons on offense. So it's, they still got Derwin James. He's one of my favorite safeties in the league. But, I mean, the Bills, Josh Allen does good. The problem is he can't beat Patrick Mahomes.
I think this year's
no
going to be
one can, except for Joe Burrow. He's the only remaining quarterback that beat him in the playoffs, and that's insane.
Isn't that weird? The NFL's a weird place. But a little geography lesson or flag lesson.
England.
Half England, St. George's flag, and the other half is my county, like a U.S. state, which is Yorkshire. Like, oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you for watching from across the pond. We're obviously the melting pot that we are of Celtic descent with our red hair. I'm a Scot. I'm not sure what Brad is, but
Irish and German.
There we go. Yeah, I'm a Scot mostly. Are you daft, man? Anyway, I got married to a kid, if that counts for anything. Thanks.
Appreciate the question, Michael. If you have any more, please keep them coming. I love.
Yeah, we'll take them. We'll take them. The thing about I look at it is, and I agree with what you said. It just feels like that year that Joe Burrow went up there and spanked him.
Yeah.
Him and Joe Mixon went up there and put on a show, and Josh Allen looked lifeless. I felt like that was that was the shot, right? Yeah. That was your chance to go. Because nobody was picking the Bengals to go up there in the freezing cold weather, the weather that they keep saying they love, and just losing. Yeah. So it's a problem, and you're not going to be counted elite of the elite until you punch your ticket. Joe Burrow has punched his ticket. He didn't win, but he still punched his ticket.
Came close. It was close.
Came close. Yeah, it came close. So and he could do it again. So Josh Allen is
that's one of the crazy parts where I talked with the other Titans fans, like, when they talked to Tannehill, like, oh, Tannehill just needs an offensive line. I'm like, Tannehill's a veteran. He should know exactly. Like, I go back to the Browns game where Myles Garrett just raped us.
Yeah.
Like, it was the final drive right before half. Tannehill, what I would have done, if I'm not the offense, I'm about to call hike. First person I'm looking for is Myles Garrett. Where's he at? Okay, he's one-on-one with my left tackle. I got 2 seconds to throw this ball in the end zone or throw it out of bounds. That's it. And he took the sack, no points, no timeouts, go to halftime. We didn't score any points. So I remember people say, oh, that's on the offensive line. No, it's on the quarterback and offensive line. Because you gotta know what Myles Garrett's at, first of all. If he's one-on-one, you just know, okay, I got 2 seconds. If he's not there, throw the ball away. And he didn't. He took a sack. And then Myles Garrett just running up and down the line of scrimmage, taking a.
We could all learn. We could all learn from that. You know what I mean? Like, I think the part about Tannehill is it. I fully believe that if Arthur Smith was here, it would have been fine. I don't think it would have been great, but it would have been fine. I think there are just coaches' play styles and players' play styles. When they mesh, they work well. I think him and Art worked very well. I was kind of surprised he didn't end up in Steelers country. But our friend from across the pond, Michael, the playoff Yeah,
That was really good. That's crazy.
I was literally sitting there like I don't have any interest in either of these teams, and I'm sitting there like this is absolutely nuts. We call that a shootout if you haven't heard that. So it's just back and forth ping pong. Defenses are not playing well, and whoever gets the ball last wins. So that's kind of how it turned out. But
13 seconds left. 13 seconds left. And he still got his team in field goal range.
I know. The elites, man, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Before I answer that question even more,
go ahead.
That's why I'm interested to see what Bill Callahan does, because when he was in Cincinnati, not having an offensive line, and still got Joe Burrow and him and Zach Taylor, I believe, him and that offensive line still went to the Super Bowl and almost won. If they would just held Aaron Donald for one more mini second, Jamal Chase was open.
Yeah.
So I mean, but Aaron Donald's a freak of nature, so it's hard to hold that guy back. But to go back to Michael's topic, yeah, I mean, I watched highlights on TikTok of the Super Bowl between the 49ers and the Chiefs, and this is why the 49ers defensive head coach was fired. In critical moments in that overtime game, the defense was playing soft coverage. I'm like, why are you playing so soft? Like, it's 1st and 20 or 2nd and 20, which one it was. You're playing 15 yards off. Why? Go press them and force the play. Don't give them easy yards. You can't give Patrick Mahomes easy yards. So that's why any team playing the Chiefs, you can't give them soft coverage. Don't zone coverage against guys like Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. It's just, and then even if you blitz them, they still make you pay. So it's like, just stick to man coverage, but just don't give them soft zone coverage. It never works against those kind of quarterbacks.
No, they'll just give up space. That's all you do. You're just giving them space. Playoff game from the past, Music Miracle with the Titans. Yeah, find the radio call of that, Michael, sometime. It's pretty crazy. That was I was young at the time, but I remember how nuts that was. And that it's in the plays in the Hall of Fame and everything. It was a real amazing play.
Number one in Titans history.
Yep, got to be. You'll find murals of it all over the place.
Yeah.
And rightfully so.
And that was it. That was the year. Just 1 yard short. Just 1 yard short.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, so it comes down to this, where a lot of people are bashing the Chiefs. And I can totally understand why, but I think you're correct. You were talking about it before air. We talked about how the Chiefs you had to keep their pass rusher, and you do. You have to keep Jones. He is a monster. In fact, if you look at last year, none of the teams in football were doing well, really, and the Chiefs were just a little bit better they got play from their playmakers like Jones, like Snead, like guys like that, and that's what put him over the top for a lackluster season. Yeah. But I do agree with you. I think it's unfair for people to give the Chiefs an F. They had to make a move. They couldn't afford to pay the tag. Had to be done. And the Titans made a move, and they ended up not overpaying him and winning. Right? I mean, that's the name of the game. You couldn't have pulled it off better yourself. You know, it's stunning. I'm shocked it happened because this stuff never happens. And here we are with probably the best quarterback in the NFL. And now
Tennessee.
And now anxiety sits in, right? You're like, oh, please don't get hurt. Like, that's where you are. That's
to the football fans and outside Titans fans and who are watching this, like I told you, and I'll repeat myself, no problem. The Chiefs will be fine. You still got Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. You still got I can never pronounce the defensive coordinator's name. Steve.
You're talking. Oh, jeez. Spagnuolo.
Yeah. You still got him. You still got Trent McDuffie. And now Trent McDuffie moving from number 2 to number 1. We'll see how he does, but Trent McDuffie played great. He was locking down Debo and Brandon Ayuk in the Super Bowl. So I mean, you got Trent McDuffie, so it's not a total loss. You had to keep Chris Jones because he's the only pass rusher they have. The only thing I get messed up in is if you're trying to win another one, especially a three-peat, why ask for so much money when you know they need a linebacker, another pass rusher, a safety, a receiver? I mean, they got Marquise Hollywood Brown, but let's be honest, he hasn't exactly shown a whole lot. Now going to Kansas City, he should get better with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. So that's kind of a dagger in the side a little bit, but
doesn't surprise
you still got Trent McDuffie. I mean, we definitely need a Snead, and like I said, going to practice with him and DeAndre Hopkins is going to be very physical, man-to-man combat. Michael Pittman's a big receiver for the Colts. I mean, the Texans got 2 good receivers themselves. Jaguars are going downhill right now. I mean, Gabe Davis, he had one great game. That's it. He's had one great, phenomenal game in Buffalo where he had that 4-touchdown game. And then he's been injured, and he's had some okay games since then. So, to replace Calvin Ridley with Gabe Davis is not a smart move because Gabe Davis is mostly a number 2 receiver, not a number 1. But if we can just protect Will Levis, everyone stays healthy, it could be a really good season for us.
Yeah. No, I agree. Just send me Corona premieres when you get them and talking. I'll send you Snead as well as I get them. Sounds like a Chiefs fan, and I'm pretty sure that is the runner of the network in Tanner, I think. So, hello, Tanner. Thanks for watching. All right.
Trent McDuffie. Still got Trent McDuffie. He's good. He's young.
You know why I like McDuffie? Because I like saying the name McDuffie. It's like I like saying Cushionberry. Everybody's got their stats or whatever. I just like a good sounding name. It's also that he plays well. In AFC, I'm looking forward to watching the outcome of 4 teams possibly upcoming. Jets in the East, Browns in the North, Texans in the South, and Raiders in the West. We do not want the Texans. We are the ones now. We are in the words of Magneto, we are the future Charles, not them. That is what we are. Anyway.
It's going to be a battle between us and the Texans. For sure.
Yeah, but that's another reason.
And Colts, because
look, everybody's getting better, right? You can't just sit by. You gotta get better. And this is a passing league, and it's not more obvious than the Texans, not more obvious than the Colts. It's changing. So it's gonna be nuts.
Except for the Browns.
Except for the Browns. Yeah.
Just because Deshaun Watson is, I don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson, but that dude, he needs something. Because you got Nick Chubb, you get Kareem Hunt, you got good receivers, you got David Njoku, you got great offensive line. Their defense was good, except for the Texans game. But shout out to Jeremy Tunsil because Jeremy Tunsil he shut down Myles Garrett by himself. But Deshaun Watson, I don't know what's going on with that guy. Joe Flacco came in and said, "Here, let me show you what this team looks like with a veteran quarterback who knows what he's doing." Kind of like how Tom Brady took the Bucs to the Super Bowl when Jameis Winston couldn't do it. Like Joe Flacco came in and was like, "Here, I'll show you how it's done." But I don't know, man. If Deshaun Watson doesn't start stepping up, the Browns are going to need another quarterback. Shocker.
Yep. And you're paying Deshaun Watson like $250 million, just something ungodly. It looks like a baseball contract. It's so nuts. Jets in the East.
That's what kills me about like these quarterback contracts, like Ryan Tannehill with us, Daniel Jones with the Giants. Like they don't need that much.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson with the Broncos don't need that much.
It's the most important position on the field. They're
when healthy,
and the quarterback market is bad now too. So you've got guys like a Jacoby Brissett that are making great money as a backup because they might have to come in and not blow the game. That's what it comes down to. Jets in the East is interesting because I feel like they're on their last leg. Like that, this has to work this time. Aaron Rodgers can't go down in the very first game of the season. They've got so much they have to do. And it was there waiting for them. Like when Aaron Rodgers got there, it was there waiting for them that they could take this division, put up a fight against the Bills, or anything like that. Just get better. And they didn't. And I think it reflects poorly on coaching when they couldn't keep it all together. So Robert Saleh, I think, has to be feeling the heat. He's got that seat. So I hope the Jets do something for their sake and for Jets fans' sake. I think they've been punished enough, don't we think? So Raiders in the West is interesting. Antonio Pierce came out of nowhere and inspired those guys, but it's on him now. It's on him.
Another team needs a quarterback.
Right. Well, you don't trust Purdue's own Aiden O'Connell, you know?
I mean, what's crazy is, the Jets, that division's, I want to say it's up for grabs, definitely between Dolphins, Jets, and the Bills. The Bills, though, they just lost so much. Safeties, White, who's a beast when he's healthy, promise, just can't stay healthy. I mean, I'm glad Ed Oliver's finally starting to emerge because I always liked him coming out of Houston. Raiders, I mean, the Raiders are the same. Well, they're not in the same boat as the Jets because the Jets got Aaron Rodgers, but the Raiders just, it's been a long time since the Raiders has been. I mean, Max Crosby's good. You gotta keep Max Crosby, keep him happy. Don't lose him. I mean, they did get Christian Wilkins, but I mean, Josh Jacobs is gone. They don't have a quarter. I mean, it's brutal. And I know Vikings are probably gonna draft JJ McCarthy, but the Raiders have a lot, but they need a quarterback.
Oh yeah, no, for certain. Agree. Think that Jags will possibly regress. I think so, unless I don't think Doug Peterson's a bad coach, but I think he might have bitten off more than he could chew last year, and they're having to realize that maybe this guy that they got at number one is not all that in a bag of chips. So, as we like to call him, Sunshine from Remember the Titans. But
it doesn't help that Calvin Ridley's gone.
It doesn't help that Calvin Ridley. It doesn't help. You just had to walk over us last season because we were terrible, and we still beat them. And that's bad, and that's a bad taste in your mouth that you get to carry over the next year. And now you're down players, and now you've changed coaches, and now you've fired these guys and these guys. This feels like a head coach that's like a little in over his head, so he's like, I'll just fire these guys and hire new people and all that stuff. And we took
it wouldn't surprise me like Doug Marrone ends up like Mike Vrabel, like good
Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson,
my fault.
No, we already did the Marrone thing. He's
good head coach with a crappy team, but at least he still keeps his head above water. With Bill Callahan, I want to say this to Titans fans if you're watching. If we go 6-10, 6-11, whatever, 7-11 this year, whatever, don't jump ship. It might take a couple of seasons before. It all depends on Will Levis. That's the scary part. It's up to Will Levis now, and it's ride or die with Will. And I will support him like I supported Tannehill, like I supported Mariota, Clipboard Jesus, Jake the Hurt Locker, Vince Young. I would support any player and quarterback, especially in two-tone blue. And I'll give them praise when they do good. When they do bad, they're gonna, it's growing pains. But it is what it is. It's gonna take a while. So don't jump ship and say let's fire Callahan right away. Like no, calm down.
No,
Raiders
totally.
Need somebody else what they got on D at Mahomes to take that division. Well, they got good. The Raiders have a pretty solid defense. They just need a quarterback. Quarterback league. You need a quarterback.
They could take that division, but you're going to go against the Chiefs, and that's not going to be a fun ride. Okay, it's going to come down to how good is Antonio Pierce. Who's their quarterback of that team? Does Aiden O'Connell take the step? Does somebody else come in and fix it? Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
Question marks.
Yeah, the free agent moves are. I was very surprised Packers let go of Aaron Jones, just to say that, because Aaron Jones has been a monster, and not that Josh Jacobs isn't a monster. Josh Jacobs is good,
right?
But I don't think he's Aaron Jones because of his dual threat ability. Good.
No. The Packers have to be happy to have him though.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. In NFC Dallas, in NFC Dallas and East, but Prescott doesn't impress me still. Cardiac Cats in South and West of 49ers. Okay, I'll start backwards this time. 49ers suffer from the same thing they've suffered through every year. If Shanahan's system, if he gets it right, then it looks gorgeous. If he gets it wrong, they can't hang. And now, to his credit, they've hung a lot. They've hung all the way to the Super Bowl. But then when the Super Bowl got late and when you needed to eat clock, he's throwing the ball around. And, the bottom line is it gets to the closing minutes of that game. You cannot let Patrick Mahomes back out on the field. That's number one. But they did it, and that they paid the price for it. And then he decides to fire his defensive coordinator. Maybe that was justified. Maybe it wasn't. That's how I kind of feel about the 49ers.
Yeah.
The cardiac cats in the South. I think the Panthers are in deep trouble. They're in deep trouble. I think it's going to take them a while to dig. It's going to take 3 to 5 in good drafts and good free agency to get out of it. Right? Yeah, I can't see them unless Bryce comes out there and really slinging. And I mean, like Drew Brees, like slinging. Yeah, it's just not going to work. Green Bay is possibly they can put a scare in some people.
I'm going to let you go first before I go in on this.
Oh yeah. No, I was just going through the list here. But the thing about Green Bay is, what a wonderful surprise. But then they disappeared against the 49ers. So I need more consistency from that.
More love.
Yeah, from that quarterback. I need more consistency from that quarterback. Go ahead about Green Bay. Go ahead.
Well, 49ers agree 100%. It's always Kyle Shanahan. Brock Purdy, same thing with. See, he's in the same category as Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes. You gotta be able to do. You gotta outdo Patrick Mahomes, which is very hard to do. Like I said, there's only 2 quarterbacks that beat him in postseason history. One of them's retired, and that's the GOAT, Brady, who's 2-0 versus them, and then Joe Burrow's the other one. And then in the South, I got Atlanta. I'm not agreeing Raheem Morris was the great coaching candidate I would have went with.
I thought it was going to be Vrabel. I thought it was going to be Vrabel. I really did.
But you got Kirk Cousins to go with. They got London, they got Pitts, they got Bijan Robinson, who was good. In the North, I'm still going with Detroit. Good team. They did lose Gardner Johnson. That's going to be tough. Still got good receivers. You got 2 good running backs there to go with Jared Goff. In the East, I'm going with Philly because of Devin White. That was a big.
Oh, I didn't even pick people. I was just thinking what I thought about each team.
But Dallas let me down. They didn't do anything. And Philly got Saquon Barkley. They got Devin White. That's big.
Is Dallas kind of a sinking ship at this point? Doesn't it kind of feel like the ending of the Dak Prescott era is upon us?
From what I read, Derrick Henry wanted to go to Dallas.
Right, and that nobody
didn't even call him.
No, didn't
I'm like, that would be so weird because I think Dak is a better quarterback in the pocket than Lamar, but Lamar's dual threat is what makes him better than Dak. But Dak, when he had Ezekiel Elliott, that offense was at its best, and Derrick Henry's better than Ezekiel Elliott because Ezekiel Elliott never took that. He took the next step, but when he took that next step, he sunk. He went down.
Right.
Henry only went down because the offensive line was bad. So,
well, they just hired their new coach, so I kind of need to see what he does first. Marvius.
I think Antonio Pierce did solid. They just don't have a quarterback.
Look, he came in and made. It's like the people on that show Chopped, right? They give you a bunch of crappy things and you make something delicious out of it. Yeah. Like, I think that's exactly what it did. And you beat the Chiefs on Christmas. Who doesn't love that? Wasn't it Christmas? I think it was Christmas.
Something around there.
What an amazing game! What an amazing game! Aiden O'Connell versus Patrick Mahomes. They won. Amazing. They got mustache mania. Yes, they do. Yes, they. Still not worried about that team. Oh, Tanner, this Chiefs kingdom sitting up there, spitting at those peasants in his division. Yeah. What can you do? Shanahan's system in Super Bowl didn't use CMC. Oh, I agree.
The problem with having a great running back, believe us, we know this. When you have a great running back and you hold him to underneath 4 yards of carry, which they did, we see it all the time. you take Derrick Henry and CMC are legit 1 and 2 of the best running backs in the league. You take those guys away, it's hard. It's hard to, especially Brock Purdy, because he's still young. So when you take away the option of the running back like a CMC or Derrick Henry, it's so tough to win games.
Yes.
It's super tough because, like, for us, Tannehill just, especially in the playoffs, he couldn't do it without Henry.
No.
Once they took Derrick Henry away, I'm not Titans fans, calm down. I'm not putting all the blame on Tannehill, but
you are.
Offense,
you heard it here first. You heard it here first.
The passing game was nonchalant when Derrick Henry left. It was like once Derrick Henry got taken out, it was like, oh, it's open season at Ryan Tannehill. Just go after him, make him beat us.
Yep.
So, could the Giants be a dark horse in the East? No, not with Daniel Jones at quarterback.
No Saquon.
And no Saquon. I mean, they got good defensive. The defensive line is not bad, but I
think the Brian Daboll train's about to leave the station. I don't think it's going to work. If they look, Michael, we love to be surprised. So if they do come out and take it, I will be more than happy to admit I was wrong and say that's amazing. But Brian Daboll had a great first season, but I haven't seen anything after that. I think he would be more consistent. I'd feel better. Bums in that division. Yeah, I mean, I bet you feel that way, Tanner. Nobody can seem to touch you unless it's Christmas. So that's the only way. But, I mean, they beat you in Christmas, and you're hoisting a Lombardi. So what do they know, really?
I mean, I was going to pick Chargers, but now that they don't have the weapons, it's going to take the Chargers a couple years.
Chargers fell apart, like, right in front of
our eyes. I don't mind them losing Eckler, but losing Allen. Mike Williams just couldn't stay healthy. So
right.
And, I mean, they can get Brock Bowers. That's going to help them, but they still need 2 receivers and a running back, so. But yeah, Giants made the wrong decision too. They should have paid Barkley instead of Jones because I get it. Barkley couldn't stay healthy. Hey, Daniel Jones can't stay healthy either. But Daniel Jones is just.
I think they panicked and the QB market was bad and they panicked. That's what it came down to. Brad, you got what I tell you about having people shout you out on this show? No, I'm just kidding. I
talked to you about Walmart. Chuck 1974.
You were trying to ignore it.
I'm trying to remember. The Walmart. Oh, hey, Chuck. If I remember you, cool. If I don't, apologize if I don't. But I don't go to Walmart that much. So
I'm a Sam's Club man myself. Anyway, so let's talk about some Chargers. And I know, like, if anybody asks any Titans question, we'll be happy to answer.
Oh yeah,
but
any question,
right? This is NFL Sunday Night Talk, so that's what we're going to stick with. Chargers is Harbaugh going to sacrifice this season for a better tomorrow? I think he will. Oh, yeah. I think he will. They haven't made enough moves here in free agency to make me feel better about them. So I think Harbaugh's looking at, like, I'm going to need a season to flush it down the toilet, and then I can have a brighter tomorrow. But maybe they're wrong. Maybe he gets these right draft picks and puts them in a position to win it. This is the NFL. It's absolutely fun to watch.
Looking at the draft now, like, I mean, top 3 picks would probably be quarterbacks. Caleb Williams going to the Bears. Drake May going to either New England or Washington, and then depending who Washington picks, either Jalen Daniels or unknown quarterback goes to New England. I know J.J. McCarthy's probably going to go to Minnesota unless Minnesota takes Michael Penix Jr. from Washington. Bo Nix will probably slip to the second round, maybe third. But
maybe fourth, maybe fifth.
Right. I mean, Marvin Harrison probably going to the Cardinals, which will suck because Kyle Murray's going to be throwing him the football, so it's going to be rough. I mean, unless Chargers trade up somehow and say, hey, we'll get Marvin Harrison Jr., then that would be nasty. And then it'd be weird to see where Brock Powers goes.
Seizing of building first, I would guess. Wasn't that his mantra at Michigan? I think his mantra at Michigan was those cool spy glasses that guy was wearing. For me. Yeah. I mean, look, the thing is, in the NFL season, and this is something that I think Titans fans have to keep in their mind too. This is a total philosophy change. What the Titans are going through, they are shedding a lot of things, and that doesn't mean we're going to be good next year. You can have Ridley on there. It doesn't mean you're going to be good next year. That's the thing. I think that's why a lot of people watch. But sometimes you've got to sacrifice a season to get to a better tomorrow with better draft picks, with more cap room in our case. Those decisions happen, and sometimes people pretend they don't happen. Look, I'm not saying they don't go out there and they poop the bed or whatever. No, they're trying to win the game. At the end of the day, you're lining your soldiers up against each other and you're having a fight. But the Chargers in free agency have not really done much to inspire me to make me feel good about them. If he drafts well, and I mean, those guys better play their butts off, and maybe there's something. But maybe he gets Herbert in a groove with some play calls or something like that. But I'm not looking forward to see that yelling man in khakis walking up and down the sideline. I can't stand the Mick. I can't stand the guy. Man. Now, when he was with the 49ers years ago, they were gold. I mean, absolute gold. And then it fell apart because he started bucking up against authority and bucking up against this. So I wonder if this is going to be a replay, and then he just runs back to Michigan or takes a job at like Wyoming or wherever these coaches seem to go after that. But
at least he has a better quarterback now. I mean, Colin Kaepernick was extremely inaccurate, and you have Herbert, good accurate quarterback with a good arm. Problem is just there's no one there.
They're wasting it. This is like when Phillip Rivers came in and he was hot. I mean, red hot. And now, I mean, the Chargers couldn't get anything done. In 2009, the Chargers had the number one offense and defense, and they did absolutely nothing with it. Nothing. That's
the crazy part. Going back and think about the Chargers: Phillip Rivers and LaDainian Tomlinson.
Snake bit is the term.
Antonio Gates.
Gates. And they would rock everybody, but they would win. Wouldn't win. It's amazing.
Couldn't beat Brady.
Nope.
Couldn't beat Brady.
But that's a long list, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no one at those points in those 2000s games, Brady was not going to be stopped. He was just marching over everybody. No stopping him and whatnot. This mantra.
It's been. I mean, like on paper, Tennessee looks solid. They look good. Now it's up to the coaches. Like I think the defense with our new coordinator, I think will be solid. Jeffrey Simmons, I love his tweet. I think the secondary will be good. Obviously, the biggest problems with Mike Vrabel was the injuries.
Right.
So, I mean, I know
we did hire a new sports medicine guy, by the way. I don't know.
Right. I know there was like a lot of people saying like, was the injuries Mike Vrabel's fault just because of his physical play style? Maybe. I mean, it's not wrong or correct. Who knows? But I mean, I just got tired of watching Mike Vrabel bend over on the sidelines, either like gasping for air or just looking at the scoreboard and then hearing coach better to play better. Like you say the same thing every week. So,
well, get ready because Callahan will have something in his back pocket for that. I'm sure. Everybody gets buzzwords, right? That's how it is. I remember him bending over, and I remember him being like, "Oh my God, we're so bad." You know, it was fun.
What made me laugh about the whole, and this is why, I started the whole fire Mike Vrabel, I think, season, and it was last season around like week 6 or 7, was because of he kept saying the same thing every week. It's like a broken record. But what the quote he said was, "I don't want to be known for coaching talent. I want to be known for coaching consistently, fixing the mistakes." But yet the same mistakes week in, week out was being made, and there was no fixing it. So that's my question. If I was asking Mike Vrabel a question, like, if you're trying to fix it, where's it at? Why are we not seeing it? And he never answered. He just kept saying, "We got to coach better, play better." And I'm like, dude, shut up. You say the same thing.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed recently in NFL, team stadiums will be locked out with home fans. Now you see a lot of stadiums with numerous opposition away fans. Never used to be that way. So there's a lot of things that go against that. One, the NFL made the TV product too good. Why go out in the elements or fight traffic or go through all the usual things if I can sit at home with a nice TV and cheaper drinks and cheaper food that I've already bought for myself? There are people that have home
fights.
Like they just go over and watch the games at each other's houses and whatnot, right?
And fist fights in the stands.
And fist fights in the stands. And also there are destination cities. Nashville's a big deal right now. So we get a lot of people that come in and buy tickets that want to experience Nashville. They want to walk down Broadway. They want to go to the honky tonks. They want to go to these places. I mean, it's just how it is. But there's there's hardly any fan base now that really fills out a whole stadium or whatnot. Now we're getting a new one, and maybe that'll get enough people excited to fill the sucker up, but I doubt it. It also, if your team's not good, not a lot of people are going to show up and watch that team.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. Now I've been a fan of the Titans for a very, very long time, 20 plus. So I get to. I'm going to show up no matter what, but I am what you call a diehard. So I'm not going to just leave. You know what I mean? So there's numerous of me, but there's even more people that are just there for the atmosphere and whatever else, and they want a winning team. Put out a winning team, more people show up. Winning cures everything.
Yeah,
in football is what I find.
Texans were a great example of that last season. I mean, Ryans and CJ Stroud just took off, and they got a good offensive coordinator, and he stayed for another year. So that was a freaking good decision.
Yeah, yes and no, Scott. We when the Titans first got here, they were the Oilers, but they are here. We filled out the stadium all the time or whatnot. But as it's gone on and TV products gotten better, heck, I mean, I can pay $100 for NFL Plus, and I can get the camera angles. I can get all these great things, and that's changed. So people can stay at home and relax and look at their tablets and things like that. Now I don't have to pay this money for tickets. I don't have to.
I live in Ohio, so I mean,
right, exactly.
I'm not going to. I mean, if I do go to a football game, it'll probably be Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's nice. I like going to a Reds game every now and then for baseball. But
yeah, my Reds have some fixing up to do. But there is one more football subject we have to touch on.
What's that?
They are trying to ban the hip tackle now.
Oh,
there it is. We're getting an inch closer to flag football.
I can't wait to see how it is enforced. I'm sure it's going to be enforced really well.
I hope that fails, because I'm like, it's just, come on. I mean, you can't protect everyone. It's just getting ridiculous. Like, even the quarterback slide, I think, is stupid. Because, like, what if a running back slides? You can't call him down until he's touched. I mean, I played football. I've had head injuries not playing football. Long story short, but no concussions. Proud of that so far, knock on wood. But I look at UFC fighters. I look at hockey players, boxers. They know what they signed up for. Same thing with footballers. You know the risk you're putting your body in jeopardy.
Right.
Like we saw the hip tackles with Luke Wilson last year. We saw the knee tackles where their knees are getting taken out. They're like, "Oh, where's the flag?" I'm like, you're not gonna get a flag on every single hit.
No.
If a guy says, "Hey," if a defender goes up to a tight end or a wide receiver, say, "Hey, would you rather have me hit you in the neck or head, or you want me to go for the knee?" They're gonna say, "I'd rather you take out my knee." Because the knee, yes, you might never walk again, but you gotta pick. Lose your leg or lose your brain. Which one would you rather lose? I'd rather lose my knee.
Makes sense.
So,
God bless Steve McNair. Listen, Steve McNair was the man. He was the man for the team, but he was the man for Nashville. He was the guy. Him and Eddie George. Eddie George still here, still a legend. If Steve was with us today, he'd still be a legend. He is a legend, as far as I'm concerned. So I totally get it. We are approaching the 50-minute mark. So it's about time for us to go Betty by. If Brad doesn't get his beauty sleep, he's just going to be a terror tomorrow.
Man, I got laundry to do.
Oh, that's awful. That's awful. I hate that.
Yeah.
It never ends, the laundry game. It
Never
never
ends.
ends. When I got kids, it got way worse.
Well, I want to say shout out to Steve McNair's. I mean, I don't think Chris John. No, I think Steve McNair is the only MVP in Titans history. I believe still.
I believe that is correct. Yes.
Yeah, and it was a co-MVP with Peyton Manning. So
yeah,
and
felt really
what's
weird.
really, and here comes the even sadder news, is that Warren Moon, not really a Titan, but he's the only, since it's the Oilers Titans franchise, he's the only quarterback to lead the NFL in passing yards. And that's a long time ago.
Michael, you're a champ. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in, Michael. Thanks for the questions, guys, and comments.
Feel free to come
Very
back
helpful.
next Sunday. We're gonna make this
yeah.
Sunday night thing. I like the traffic on Sunday night. Look, we get all the
Until the regular season starts.
That's right. Thank you. I appreciate that, Michael. Yeah, we'll see you later.
Thank you for the compliment.
We will see you later, and we'll see you next Sunday night. Brad and I will, and we'll be sure to have lots of fun and hopefully some more news to talk about. If not, we'll answer any NFL questions that we can, that we feel qualified for.
Yeah, because next Sunday will be less than 1 month to the draft.
Less than 1 month. Gosh, we're getting there. I will be there, by the way. I will be in Detroit for the draft. So keep that. And I know that means a lot to everybody out there. But anyway, so everybody have a wonderful week of work. Hopefully it's not too stressful. Please like and subscribe. Come on to the Let's Talk Sports Network, even if you're not a fan of the Tennessee Titans. Come on. We've got everything in here. There's Steelers shows. There's all kinds of shows. There's soccer shows or European football, as you like to say, or anything like that. And we will, see you next Sunday. And once again, check out the LTS Network. Be happy to see you. For Bradley Mangold, I'm Sam Dean, a.k.a. Mr. First Down, wishing you a pleasant evening and a brighter tomorrow. See ya!
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, fans. Thanks for watching.